So right now at Gresham CDJR, you can lease this 2025 Jeep Wagoneer S for just $39 a month. There's $3,999 due at signing. It's a 36-month lease that allows for 5,000 miles a year. Now on the surface, this seems like an incredible lease deal, but let's break down the intricacies of this deal and let me tell you whether or not I think this is a good lease deal in terms of value. Now the first thing I want to do is look at this lease from a value perspective using my 1.25% rule of leasing. So let's take the $3,999 that's due at signing. I'm going to add $1,500 to this amount to account for things like dealer fees, registration fees, and taxes on rebates here in the city of Seattle where I live. That brings the total due at signing amount to around $5,500. Now what I'm going to do is subtract the monthly payment of $39 a month from this due at signing amount, since the due at signing amount includes the monthly payment. But what I'm going to do is increase the monthly payment to $99 per month, because that's how much a monthly payment would be with 10,000 miles a year instead of 5,000 miles a year. So I'll subtract $99 from this amount, and then I'll divide this by 36 to break this up into 36 equal parts, since it's a 36-month lease, and that gives me $150. And then what I'll do is add the $99 monthly payment back in, and that gives me a zero down monthly payment of $250, but this doesn't include sales tax where I live, so I'm gonna multiply this by 1.1 to account for 10% sales tax here in the city of Seattle, and that gives me a zero down effective monthly payment of roughly $274 a month. And then what I'm gonna do is divide this by this vehicle's MSRP, which is $67,590. And if we move the decimal point over 2 spots, that gives me 0.41%. Now, anytime you run this calculation and you get a number over 1.5%, that typically is a vehicle that makes more sense to finance instead of lease. Under 1.5% is what I consider a good lease deal in terms of value. Under 1.25% is a great lease deal, and under 1% is extremely rare and what I consider an amazing lease deal. And this Jeep Wagoneer S comes in at just 0.41%, which is way under 1%, which is an amazing, well beyond an amazing lease deal in terms of value. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a fully electric vehicle. So if you charge this car at home, and let's say you drive 10 to 12,000 miles a year, you're easily going to save $100 to $150 in gas. And in my eyes, that brings the effective payment down even further to about $120 to $170 a month, which is just incredible. Now, I know the Jeep Wagoneer S has had its fair share of issues, but at an effective monthly payment of just $120 to $170 a month, I think this lease is a no-brainer, assuming you can get these terms. Financial knowledge is power. Please like and follow for more.